Welcome to the 185th episode of the IntelleXual Podcast. I'm your host, David Dawson. I'm very pleased to bring you a very, very special guest on today's episode. It is Mr. Jerry from The Walking Dead. It's Cooper Andrews, the actor who has kind of stolen everybody's hearts on this season's episodes of The Walking Dead with his humor, with his presence. He is the right-hand man of King Ezekiel in the kingdom, and brings a smile to everybody's face every time he's on screen. And we have him here on the IntelleXual Podcast. I'm super stoked to bring this to you. It's a wonderful conversation. Cooper is every bit as much fun in person as he is on screen, and I think you're going to really enjoy this interview. A little bit of information before we get into the interview. Don't forget that the San Diego Film Awards are coming up on April 2nd at the Music Box. You can get your tickets today at filmconsortiumsd.com. Just click on the San Diego Film Awards button and it'll take you to a page where you can go to another page to buy yourself some tickets. So be sure to join us as we celebrate film in San Diego and award those people who have made, well, outstanding contributions to our community as filmmakers this year. I'm very pleased to say that IntelleXual Entertainment has 2 nominations this year. One for Best Actor for Shane P. Allen in our film Discontinuance, which was directed by Diego Robles and Leon Behar. Huge congratulations to Shane. Absolutely deserving of that nomination, and I hope he takes home the trophy. And also from Discontinuance and Bittersweet Fortune, our special effects, visual effects, super team combo of Mike Smith and Lindsay Joel are nominated for Best Visual Effects for their work in both of those films as well. It's fantastic to have those 2 nominations. It's 2 years in a row in both of those categories that IntelleXual Entertainment has enjoyed nominations for our team members in those categories, and we actually took home Best Visual Effects last year for our work on Lefty. So I'm holding out hope that we're 2 for 2 in that category as well. So come join us April 2nd at the Music Box for the San Diego Film Awards. And if you can't make it there, be sure to catch us on the CW6 as the San Diego Film Awards enjoys a primetime broadcast from 8 to 10 p.m. on April 9th on the CW6 here in San Diego. And now, get your Walking Dead fan hat on and enjoy our version of The Talking Dead with Cooper Andrews on the 185th episode of the IntelleXual Podcast.
Talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm. The IntelleXual Podcast starts now.
Hi, Cooper.
Hello.
This is Whitney.
Hey, Whitney, how you been?
I've been busy. How you been?
Same.
That's good. That's good. So you can hear me okay?
Yeah.
We're on this crazy setup of microphones and headsets and things right now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, excellent.
Hi, Cooper. I'm David.
Cool. Hey, David, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm super excited to get to talk to you.
Me too. I'm sorry about all this. They're just a bunch of stuff.
Have you had a crazy day?
Yeah, it was a very clustered week of because I have to go to a bunch of cons, and I don't like taking photos, or I like taking photos. I don't like taking headshots because I just end up laughing at all of them the entire time. So it's always like pulling teeth. My agent and manager are like, hey, we'd love to get some new headshots. So I'm like, yeah, for sure. And it's always so I had to deal with that.
So did they actually pin you down and get headshots done this week?
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Oh, did they actually pen you down for headshots this week?
Yeah, it's like, all right, they got me. No, I got it. It's like, okay, all right. So they're very nice about it. All my headshots are usually just like, I usually just try to take it and then make it as quick as possible. So I don't like agonizing over it.
Well, thank you for taking time to sit down and speak with us. It sounds like you have a busy week.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, happy to have you. We're excited. This is great. David's a huge fanboy, so he's going to get really giddy. See?
Hell yeah.
Well, I'm a fan of The Walking Dead for sure, and
Me too.
Whitney mentioned to me before the season started, she's like, oh, yeah, my friend, he's going to be on this coming season. I was like, what? And then you showed up and I'm like, he's really cool.
On top of which, the audience seems to really love your character. Like, you have become a fan favorite, so that's got to feel good.
It does. It does feel good. And one, because I like I guess I'm so used to this whole, with everything that's gone on Facebook and the news and everything, with when everyone gets really political, it's just nice to just see like really friendly things written. So
yeah, definitely.
I was like, okay, this is a nice change of pace.
So Cooper, I have so many questions. It's been so long since I've seen you. And when I met you, you were working on the other side of the camera. You were doing the tech side. And I would love to know, and I'm sure our audience would love to know, what was the journey from tech side to being Jerry?
Hold on, it's Jerry.
Jerry. You gotta say Jerry.
Jerry.
You gotta say it fast. Jerry. It was actually when I got into film was right after high school, and I actually looked at it as a stunt coordinator. I didn't know the term at the time, but I just wanted to do stunts and fight choreography, and I enjoyed acting and I like doing all that. And what ended up happening was just me answering or replying to ads on Craigslist, which was, I would just look up to someone need, a fight choreographer or someone to do stunts. And there'd be like these little mini projects, people with their handy cams and stuff like that. And I would just go out and wreck. And then you just start meeting more and more people. And then I realized I had to just start. I didn't know anything else about. I didn't know about like things like jumping the line with cameras. I didn't know about the importance of audio. I didn't know any of that. And as I kept working all these free gigs, there was a sound mixer who asked if I ever held a boom before, and I had, but I didn't know what I was doing. And he started showing me stuff, and then he started calling me on to like union projects and TV shows and film. And as I was doing that, I realized that the boom operator was the guy that gets to be with the actors and with the director and with the camera guys. And it's if you can boom, you can boom. It's hard, but for a lot of people, but it is easy. And sorry if you guys need to cut me off or I ramble, let me know, because I ramble.
No, we absolutely love listening to you ramble.
It's a podcast, man. Talk away.
Okay, so I worked for this guy, this sound mixer, and I realized that the boom gets to be in the room during private rehearsals. He gets to hear the actors sort of run their lines or just have like quick discussions with the other, like, oh, how about I'll feed it this way, or maybe we can play it this way. And they start talking about their technique. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then the director will walk in and he'll be like, hey guys, so I was thinking this, maybe we start here and we need to do this so we can cheat for camera. I'm like, what's cheat for camera mean? And so I just learned all these little things and little techniques, this on-camera acting style I started learning as a boom op, and that's why I kept with it and stuck with it, and it paid nice. So
yeah, so you got the best of both worlds, right? You got free training and paid to get the free training.
Yes,
I've been telling everybody they need a crew.
Definitely, you should learn both sides, I think.
Or say again?
Oh, I was just saying that people should really learn both sides. If you're planning on being an actor, you should really work the tech side too, because it just gives you a view that you understand your craft better, I feel like.
Absolutely. No, I think I think it helps. I think it also makes you appreciate it more. So like my first acting thing was on Halt and Catch. My first big acting thing where I was like, oh, people will see this, was on Halt and Catch Fire, which is also on AMC. And things where like the camera guys would go, oh, hey, Coop, would you mind moving just, and I would just move my head just like an inch. And they're like, okay, perfect. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And it was those types of things that you might not learn in a class and things like that. Not saying you don't, but it was just, I was so familiar with what they were asking for, with them trying to nudge it without them having to spell it out for me.
So now, how did you get that gig on Halt and Catch Fire? Because you were working in Atlanta, you're doing this boom operation, and then did that audition occur in Atlanta, or did it occur here in LA? And how did that come about?
That was Atlanta. That was an Atlanta casting. So in 2007, 2008, I did this Coke Zero commercial that never aired. But what it did was it got me my it connected me with my first agent, and then they would periodically send me auditions, and I was busy a lot for some of the auditions, because I was shooting on a TV show, so I couldn't do an audition. And I also didn't like to read. I would, but not often. I wouldn't always read for Bodyguard 1 or Bouncer 2. I just didn't want to get lumped into that. And my look and my just my look, it's very easy to get typecast. And I was worried about that, even though it's one of those things where when you're starting out as an actor, it's like, just take it and do it. But me, I like doing sound because I like doing sound. I like to learn a lot of things as I do it, but I appreciate every aspect of the job of working on a show or working on a project.
Right.
So I wasn't like, oh God, I'm just doing this sound thing and now just waiting for my chance. It was never like that. To me, it was, well, is it worth me not doing sound? No, I don't want to do that. And I always had that this approach to a lot of the things I've would be asked to read for.
Where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up. Well, I was born in, and this is why IMDb is always frustrating because everyone's like, "Oh, you're from Smithtown." It's like, "Oh, I was born there, and my family they live in Comac, Long Island, New York." But I lived in the North, in Maryland, if you include the North, till I was 11. And then I was in Atlanta for the rest of it. Went to high school. I was in my 20s. Everything was in Atlanta. So I'd like to think of myself as a Southerner with a non-regional accent. So that's, but I do say words funny. So I don't know where that came from. I'm always like, I say, well, for instance, I say milk, M-E-L-K, and it was like milk. I don't know how to say it. And mirror, I say as mare. And people are like, wait, what? I was like, oh yeah, I just got to look in the mirror real quick. The what? It's not an accent. It's just a word I say wrong. So I never noticed that about myself until I was like on camera and they're like, wait, what did you say? I was like, I said mirror.
You're like, sorry, I'm from Georgia.
What kind of films did you watch when you were younger, and what was it that made you want to like discover how to become a stuntman? You said you didn't know what the terminology was when you started looking into it. Well,
the movies I looked at when I was younger, I mean, I think everyone likes the Disney classics. And I realized why I appreciated those. But I like not just Disney, but I enjoyed all movies. But sometimes I would watch, I got horribly misquoted, 10 years ago for this interview about, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which was,
it's a guilty pleasure movie of mine, man.
Yeah. It's like a movie. It's like, you have Kevin Costner's like, I'm from England. Like, oh, we got nothing. We got nothing to eat. But what can we provide that the forest can't handle? Like whatever. And and he just had like this Kevin Costner voice. And then and then I said like, oh, I like The Matrix. And then this one, she wrote like, he's inspired by such films as The Matrix and Kevin Costner's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I'm like, oh my God. So, I was like, that's not what I meant by that. That's not what I meant by that. It was just a movie that I watched a lot because I love Robin Hood. I like the idea of, I like the idea of this, just swashbuckling guy. But I liked watching action movies. I liked watching dramas. I think my first R-rated film that my mom took me to was White Men Can't Jump, which is an awesome movie. And she was more like, I just don't want you to watch violent films. And so,
how does she feel about where you're at now?
Yeah, I know. It's like, so about that, I'm not. Thanks a lot, Mom. Now everyone thinks I'm too happy in this post-apocalyptic world. I just don't know how to be anything else. But I started doing. She put me in martial arts when I was 3, and it was just like it started out with like these after-school programs where someone would come, and it was it was like a probably like the poor 16-year-old who had to babysit, a bunch of kids by trying to teach them how to punch and kick and stuff. But it was something that was in my life for a while, was a lot of the martial arts and stuff. And so during high school, and I went to high school in Dunwoody, Georgia, a little suburb of Atlanta. And my class was the one that we started doing film projects, like for a class. We would, it's like, oh, talk about, the Battle of, Antietam. And it's like, okay, let's make a movie about it, how we feel. Or let's do a book report. And it's like, okay, let's just make it a movie. And we, my friends and I, we would get together and we would, we'd edit. At the time, we would edit on the camera. So we would shoot it in order because we didn't know how to get our hands on any editing tools. And then eventually things like Premiere came out, and then we were able to start cutting stuff together. And we're like, oh, wow, this is easy. So we sort of learned that process. And so using the martial arts, it'd be like, okay, can we have Macbeth fight somebody? It's like, sure. So then we would just, do like a Jet Li or Jackie Chan inspired fight scene, and it didn't look anything like him, but we did our best. I don't want people thinking it's like, yeah, there's some 15-year-olds who like mastering Jet Li moves. No, but we'd watch things like Fist of Legend or Drunken Master, and we'd get together and try to imitate that fight, and or even like The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I think we did a fight scene of that in a CVS before we got kicked out. But then afterwards, or when we were shooting this, I realized like, man, this is a lot of fun. This is really what I think I want to do. And you have so many people, so many teachers going like, well, what's your backup plan? I'm like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean a backup plan? And they're like, well, what if the movie thing doesn't work out? It's like, well, I'm not going to think like that. And right after high school, went straight to Craigslist, just started calling people. My mom was like, if you're not going to college, then you're going to work. So I was working construction, 50 hours a week. And then at night, we would do like night shoots or weekend shoots. And then I just started learning more and more about, because it wasn't just, oh, go out there and fight. It's like, oh, you know what? That concrete kind of hurts. What can we do about that? Oh, we're pads. Really? It's like, just like, what if we just get like a bunch of like, I don't know, like couch cushions and like hide them in something. It's like, oh, like what if you dig up some dirt and make the ground a lot softer? Like things like that. It was after trial and error. So,
safety learned through experience.
Yeah, you learn through experience, but it was one of those things when I live in LA, I have a place here, and one of my roommates, he's a stuntman. And so we have all these stunt people here training constantly, and I get to join in with them. But, now I'm almost 32 now, and, I'm probably like some huge amount of weight too heavy. And, so I can't move like how I used to. like cleanly. So, you know, when my friends like, oh, you want to do a fight? I'm like, well, if you want to do 3 takes each, but that's all I got in me, you know, when it could be like 15 or 20. So like, okay, well, we'll make it work. I'm like, oh, you guys are too nice. But you start realizing that. So you apply it to everything. So it's like, okay, well, we have a scene in this house, but then, you know, then we have to do this scene where they're at this restaurant. And then after that, we come back to the house. So it's like, oh, after we did it wrong, we go, oh, maybe we should have just shot everything at the house first. And so we didn't have to reset it. It's just things like that. Like you didn't learn. But what I was getting at with living with the stuntmen here is that they have so many people to learn from, and so much to, the knowledge that's over here, is just so extensive when it comes to the stunts. And, you know, and my 20-year-old self is like, oh my God, that would have been so much more easy had I thought of that.
A few less injuries, but, probably.
Like I said, I'm rambling. Say again?
A few less injuries, probably.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm curious, how many broken bones did you experience during this trial and error process?
I never broke a bone, but man, the cuts and the scrapes, because, you know, I would do things where I would like flip onto my back and not full front flip, but just like a 3/4 and then like land on my back on concrete. And I was just like, okay, you know, if we can just get this shot, like we just do it once or twice, you know, and now they're like, oh yeah, we just put a gator back on and yeah, you can just, you know, go to town. Especially for the height I was going on. It was like, wasn't that high, but it was still like, oh God, just like throw all the air out of your stomach and just, you know, and just hope you don't bang your head, you know, like keep your chin tucked in and, you know, that kind of thing. And it's like, so
Cooper, does your mother know you were doing these things?
I did it in her front yard, literally her front yard. It was a giant, and my mom, like I said, she was, Mom's is always the number one fan, but she was the one that, like, when I told her after high school that I wanted to do this, and she was like, okay, you just better be, you know, just make sure you have a job, you know, and she's always supported. She's always, you know, but yeah, we tore up her front yard. Like the grass was like this giant dirt patch. And, you know, I got a few martial artists together and we would just train and we would shoot, we would choreograph stuff, and every now and again we'd work on a project. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of training, and I would die now if I attempted 30 minutes of that. Now I like to just stick with the weightlifting.
So now
the weightlifting and I'll do cardio later monologue.
If we fast forward a little bit, so you go in for this audition for Yo-Yo. Did any of your martial arts training come into play in that audition, or was it a total departure into a different part of you?
Total departure, it was a complete different part of me. But there was I did know how to use a yo-yo, from when I was in 7th and 8th grade, middle school. I would practice using yo-yos. And there's a character named Yo-Yo and they describe it. And I was like, this is amazing. So I got to read, I did a self-tape first, and then I sent it in, and then I read with, Ed Bianchi, I can't pronounce Bianchi, and I can't think of Melissa's last name, but our executive producer, lovely, and our casting director. And I remember at the end of it, they're like, "Oh, Cooper, did you bring that yo-yo?" And I was like, "Yeah, but it's in my pocket." But when I read for Yo-Yo, actually I haven't told this to anybody. When I read for Yo-Yo, I was really sick, or I was just getting over a really bad cold. And I rarely got sick, so I couldn't work for the month. So, you know, I had no jobs lined up because I was too busy coughing.
I know that feeling. I'm just getting over
when this
sick.
audition. It's just, well, out here, it's just like it gets so cold at night, and then it's like so warm during the day, and this temperature changes, killing me. So, but when I read for that, I was like, I have to take this seriously. It was probably the first audition that I read for where I was like, you know what? Let's just start taking it. I don't know what snapped. Are you allowed to curse?
Oh yeah.
I'll try not
go
to.
for it. No.
Well, I was just like, it's not going to be a major one, but I was just like, it's like, I can't keep dicking around. I just had to pretty much, just say it. I just had to just go straight forward and just go for this and really commit to this character when I read for him. And so I think that's what came through was because there was no joking around. I wasn't thinking, if I get it, whatever. It was more of a, what, I really like this character and this is a great character. I realize how cool Yo-Yo could be. And I want to, make something out of him and I want to be the guy to do it. And I think that came through, as I did it. I just, I treated myself like I was 15 years old and I had a small crush on the cool computer programming chick and I just played it through. But yeah, that was, I love Yo-Yo. I love Yo-Yo.
Well, and it's such...
I forgot where I was going.
That character evolves so much because I feel like, at first it's this sort of dorky, nerdy character, but there was one scene you had, I guess whenever you left the group, that was intense, man. That character had a lot of range. How was that, like, just the evolution of that character for you?
It was something that, like with Walking Dead, they don't tell you they didn't tell me what was happening next. I didn't know that was going to happen, but the way that they were writing him, I could sort of feel there was like a little bit of a storm coming. Even with that in the beginning of season 2, where I'm getting in a fight with my buddy August, who plays Lev. It's something that wouldn't have happened in season 1. I felt like the pressure of trying to be a part of this company, of being a part of Mutiny, was starting to get to him. And I sort of felt it coming, even though nothing was mentioned. So when that scene came, 1, I didn't know I'd be coming back. But 2, I was like, I really like this. This really sucks, but I really like this. It was, so when I read that scene, I was like, okay, you know what? I don't want to leave this company, but I don't want to watch this fall down either. I don't want to watch it fall apart either. And that was what I was thinking that whole time through. But yeah, when I got that scene, I was like, oh man, this is it. And I remember, so we were shooting episode 3. And the quitting was episode 4. So we were shooting episode 3 and the coders, my friends, the Mutiny, they all got the script. I knew it was the next script, and I walk out of my trailer and I look at them and they all turn their heads looking really sad. They look at me and I go, what, do I die? And all of them just slowly shake their head. They all just slowly shake their head. Like, oh. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are so dramatic. I was just like, so I think them being that upset about it made me not as upset, because I was like, all right, well, if someone's got to be strong here, I guess I'll do it, So I just remember their faces. I mean, it's just a bunch of, mid-20s, and we're all dressed in 80s clothes, so dorky looking guys, and they just look at me and they shake their head. I was like, oh God, guys, come on. And then I was called a week later, and they go, oh, you're coming back, right? I was like, I did not know. Oh, Cooper, we are so sorry. We meant to tell you that. I think it was such a busy day. We forgot to tell you that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm just, I'm happy to be back. Like, yeah, you'll be back in 2 more episodes, 3 more episodes. That's fine. And I was like, oh yeah, thanks.
You're like, yeah, it's cool. I cried myself to sleep last night, but I'll be okay.
Exactly. Oh no, so I guess I could put, I can just put these hate letters away. All right,
yeah. I'll just put all my stuff back in my trailer.
So do they return? Are you allowed to return liquor? I don't know. I was about to write a sweet novel. Oh well, yeah. So it was. But yeah, that moment I really enjoyed, and Mackenzie is just so beautiful in so many ways. Just the way she takes a character, and the way she just the emotion I feel more than the words when they come from her. So getting to have that scene with her was like so cool. And, you know, she's awesome. So, but it was, that scene, that's how that went down.
That's awesome. So with that character, because it is, you know, historically based, these are real people. What kind of research did you do about all of this? You know, these were real events.
For Halt?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the research I did, and the joke I still make is like, look, I play a computer genius on TV. Okay. I don't know cause I don't know. I'm horrible with technology. But we, you know, research was more just sort of learning about the 80s in a sense, or just more the vibe. And just, cause you know, we're just coming out of the 70s, and we're, you know, the idea that there's a girl programmer, you know, was really cool. And then, just sort of being part of this, just treating it like I was in this dominant world of, you know, of these powerful businessmen, and me just being the guy that just has a passion for code. So, you know, learning what the computers did and why something would halt and catch fire, and you know, learning, you know, just basically just the pronunciation stuff, but but sort of feeling out like a little bit of the mannerisms I chose is how I interpreted how the 80s would be. There'd be little throws to different movies, and for some reason I can't think of them at the moment, that would sort of base some of the posture off of, mixed with my own. But yeah, that's how I approached it.
Okay, so
I wish there was like a cooler way to say it, but that was pretty much how I did it.
That works.
for Yo-Yo.
Now, so were any of the characters directly based on real people, or is it just sort of a loose amalgam of people from that time period working in this industry?
I think it's as far as I knew, and as far as we approached it, it was a loose amalgam of people. It was just little moments, you know, because I mean, in Halt Catch Fire, you know, the joke that we'd have is like, what are we inventing today? You know, it's like, well, we're inventing broadband internet. Like, okay, perfect. But it was, so it was nothing. It was just based off of what I liked about it is these circumstances that, what if it happened to someone else that wasn't Bill Gates, or wasn't, I can't think of
Steve Jobs.
Jobs. Yeah. Steve Jobs. Yeah. God, Lee, you know, what would happen if it was, they were put in that same power, but they had this little bit of, they have this history, like how Lee would play it. And I would, season 1, first off, the novelty of having a trailer was awesome, you know, but you know, I was like, wow, a trailer. Wow. It has a bathroom in it. Oh, sweet. I have a TV, you know, and it's, you know, that part is cool. And I just liked, I like saying it, but really when I was on that set, I would go to Video Village, and I would just sit, you know, behind the director, or behind whoever, the producers or whoever. And I would just watch what was happening on screen, or I'd sit with the sound guys, and watch their monitors and just listen, just because you read the scripts, and then you're like, okay, well, that's how I would read it, but how would they read it, you know? Mm-hmm. And then when you watch someone like Scoop McNairy or Lee Pace performing, you're like, oh man, geez, there's a lot to learn. All right, well, I'm glad I bought my pen and notebook here. And that was just me when I was season 1 of Halt. I was just sitting right outside of set, just watching them work. And I, you know, and now I don't have to be a boom op to do it. You know, now I didn't have to pay attention to anything except their work. Well, so as a boom, you know, I would
sounds to me like you really like to just absorb what's going on around you and pay attention and learn from other people's process.
I love things that are free. And if I get to, if I get to watch, if I get to watch some brilliant actors get to work for free or even get paid for it, then I am all for it. But yes, it is very much, I do a lot of my style comes from observing, and trying to put almost I try to break down what they did. Like, why did I like that? Because for instance, doing an imitation of somebody, a lot of people try to imitate it to ear. They try to imitate like what they heard, So if I said, "Oh, what was that sweet line he had?" It's like, "Stay away from the garden." It's like, "Oh man, I love that line," and then you have people quoting it, but the reason the intention, this made up sentence, why it was so great of "stay away from the garden" was so amazing, was because of everything they put behind the words. And so when you're imitating, I don't know where I'm going with this, but the reason but when I'm imitating these people, I'm not just imitating their cadence or the way they say it. I'm imitating why they say it.
Like the intent.
Why is their cadence like that? Why do they speak like this? What is the reason for it? And I try to find a reason and break down everything I see in a person.
Right.
So that I can destroy them and own them.
So, Cooper, not to push you in this direction, but it sounds like you're so studious about every aspect of filmmaking. Like maybe you're studying to be a director. Do you have any future desires of directing?
I do. Yes. And they're, but more so, it's my ultimate, if truth be told, what my ultimate end goal would be to help people see what their movie is trying to be, which sounds kind of pretentious now that I've said it out loud, but
it sounds like a producer.
Yeah, it sounds like a producer.
Yeah, that's more of what I want to do, and I want to do it for so many people, because I can't write a movie about someone being raised someone who's like raised in an orphanage and tries to make something of themselves. Like if there was a story like that, I would like to act in it or something, but to tell that story, I wouldn't be right for that, and I would know it, but it would be something where I would love to be able to just help someone make that story happen. Because there's people come up to me with ideas for scripts and ideas. I'm like, that's really cool. Have you thought of doing this? And, kind of streamlining this and not making this so repetitive. What moves us forward? And that's sort of my dream, in this business, and to live in Hawaii whenever I want to.
That would be awesome. Those are good dreams, man.
No, but seriously, it's just, there's so many great stories out there, and I sort of want to see something new. I don't care if it's a story I've seen. I just want to see it new. I just want to see it being made fresh.
Right.
But yeah, I think to get in that path, I think directing would probably could possibly be in the future. Cause like I said, there's a lot you learn and you notice, and you just want to be able to do it. But being a director is hard because you have to know what to give up, what's worth, when you start having so many other voices coming in. Well, the producers are sort of like in this, and
well, what I like to tell everybody is the difficulty of being a director is you can't be everybody's friend all the time.
Right.
Sometimes you have to be the heavy and you have to be the bad guy. I'm a director, so like I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's okay, hard.
Then, yeah.
It's really hard. Sometimes you have to look at people and they have really wonderful ideas, but they're not appropriate for what you're working on or the particular overall arc that you're trying to do with the project. And you have to just kind of crush their little thought and say, I'm sorry, we're not going to do that.
Right. And
and that's hard because,
yeah. But you know what? That's what I like in a director, because there's sometimes you'll come in even as a crew member, or even when I try, the funny thing is I want to do stunts, and that's the thing the only thing I haven't done like to a professional capacity. but you would come in with these ideas. And what I liked about a director was like, I like this, I don't like this. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be, when I wasn't in control of the project, I knew I can't be married to anything.
Right.
It's, here's some ideas. What do you guys think? You don't like any of them? Cool. We'll come back and we'll make it better. Mm-hmm. And that was, I think as a crew member, I think as an actor, everything has to be done with the realization that it's not just on you that has to do it. And you have to trust who you're with.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, the character of Jerry, that was very much, like, let's try it this way. All right, let's try it this way. Maybe we'll try it this way. You know what? None of those ways. Let's do it that way that you were talking about. And that was, oh, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, speaking of Jerry, how did you come to The Walking Dead? How did that land in your lap?
I was given my manager was emailed, I guess for someone for Scott Gimple or casting called, and they said, Scott wanted me to read for this particular character. And I was like, okay, cool. And they wanted me to read it I ended up reading it 3 or 4 different versions of the character. Uh-huh. So originally it was Lester and with like a crime boss. I read it as a crime boss. It could have been something else, but I just took it as a crime boss. But Lester trying to hush up this dog named Santiago, which I didn't realize was going to be a tiger named Shiva. And I'm reading these lines. Like, chill it up, Bess. Chill it up. And I'm like, what? What show is this? I thought this was Walking Dead. It's like, you need me holler. I keep it hollering range. Deuces. I'm like, wait, what? Like, this is, when like you read a book and you look at the cover, you're like, wait a minute. And you look at the cover again, wait, what is it? What? And you keep like looking back and forth. You keep doing these double and triple takes of what you're doing. And that's what it was like when I read for Jerry. Cause I was a fan of the show. So I read it on a Friday, and then they said, oh, can you come back and read it a different version? I'm like, sure. And so I read it again on Saturday, and that Monday, I was shooting a fight sequence with my friend. So I'm sitting in the pool with a camera and a Movi rig, and my manager and agent call, and they go, are you sitting? I'm like, well, I'm in the pool with 6 people looking at me. What's going on? You got the part. I was like, oh, great. That's awesome. And they're like, you have to leave now. I was like, what? It's like Monday. This is Monday. So it turns out, there's a flight at 4:00. You would just have to catch that. And it's 11. And I'm like, I'm not angry, but I'm really annoyed right now. I'm super happy and I'm really annoyed at the same time, and I can't process this. I don't know how to process these two feelings at the same time. And so I tell I tell one of my buddies, cause he read with me for the show. I had 3 different people read with me cause, I had to do 3 or 4 different takes.
Right.
And I go, hey, I just got Walking Dead, but it's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, I just got Walking Dead, but we need to finish this. I don't care if we finish, just go. I was like, yeah, it's just so maybe I can fly later tonight. He's like, just go.
Go.
So I still smelled like chlorine by the time I had my bag packed, and I was headed to the airport. So that was, I played him at my last take was a version where I did it almost like a Biggie Smalls type way. So it was like, yo, chill up, ass. Come on, man. Like just that very like half awake,
right?
but still thoughtful behind the eyes, and just that kind of chill. And so I landed Monday, Tuesday. I had to do a table read and a costume fitting. And then that Tuesday, I did the same read, and I wasn't loving it. I wasn't really a fan of how I was doing it. I was like, oh, do I want to do a character like this? Is it too late to sort of swap it? and Scott was on the conference call with everybody, reading for it. And that was a nice big table. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have seen so many of these people and things. I was like, I am a fan of many people here. And Scott, he wanted to Skype with me that night, and we have our conversation, and he goes, how's it going? I'm like, oh, good. And, he said something along the lines, I don't remember the conversation exactly, but I had read for Walking Dead a year, 2 years prior. I think I read for it twice before. And he said, yeah, I remember you because you have this smile that you did in your slate. And then when you played the character, you look so scary. So what if we kind of, how would you feel about doing that? Where we make you this friendly guy, but if things need to go down, we make you this beast. And I was like, cool. Yes, because and the thing was, that's what I was thinking. That's how I kind of wanted to do that character, because it's like, you can't, Jerry. From what we've seen so far, it's we're all at peace, but it's, you can still feel that tension coming, and
right.
Jerry's not a knight for no reason. So there's he's someone that like truly like believes in the kingdom, and that's what I liked about him. I loved that I got to play this non-bad guy, this genuine person.
I think Chris Hardwick said something to you on The Talking Dead the other night. He likes the way Ezekiel turns to you every once in a while. He's like, Jerry, like, we're playing a role here. Stop smiling. I thought that was so hilarious.
So, well, the thing is, he's not wrong. When we approached it, we have these scenes, and Jerry is that guy. Yeah. Jerry is that guy. But the thing was, Ezekiel goes, Jerry, when you come on stage, you just need to stand there. Don't say anything. Anything. Sure. Absolutely. It's like, it pleases me to see you, old friend. It pleases him indeed. God damn it, Jerry. What did I just say? What did I just say? So, it was like, oh, sorry, I forgot. Look at them. They look so cool. Look how cool they look. Damn it, Jerry. So it's a very he just always has to put up with it. But it's but it was just more like, look, man, we gotta do this thing for the kingdom, because we gotta. I'm like, yeah, sure. So, can we just? You think you can do it today? Think you have great things to say, Jerry. I appreciate you always have this open mind. Would you mind saving it for after the speech? Yeah. Sorry, I forgot. It just. Oh man, look at them. She looks so nice. She looks really friendly. Just his.
He's just so excited
to things, and that came out. That part of it, because we shot that. The first thing we shot was the pigs, and rounding up the pigs and getting all those walkers that were approaching the truck. That was our first day together. And as far as the kingdom, sidetrack. As far as the kingdom goes, the actors were all new. We're all new together, and so we didn't know. We didn't know how to act with. Everyone goes, you guys are really energetic and like a lot different from the rest of the cast. And then we're like, oh, are we? Because we'd always talk. We'd always like, hey guys, it's great. Oh, do you mind keeping it down a little bit? Sorry, but it was just like this energetic bunch, the kingdom, and we're all friends, and everyone is so cool in the kingdom. But we forgot, we forget that we're shooting The Walking Dead because we're in this peaceful place. But anyway, on the stage where we first meet, when Carol first meets Ezekiel, that was the day where I was like, okay, this is where Jerry's gonna have to come through. And there's just one-liners, just these little one-liners that I realized aren't just throwaway lines. You know, that in The Walking Dead, I really don't think anything is pointless. I think everything has a place and everything reflects on something else. So I'm reading the line, even when it says, well said, you know, I think the first week I just kept reading it as like, well said, you know, and I was like, no, it's not. It's like a joke. He's in on the joke, you know, and so that's my favorite. That's my favorite line because it's you know when someone makes a pun and it's sort of like annoyingly clever, but like, oh God, it's so obvious. But okay, I'll give it to you.
It's that whole meta groaner. Play within a play moment for him.
Yes, and it was just like so proud, and I did it, and I didn't rehearse it that way. And then I started saying it like that. And then I would give like these looks, and we're in the auditorium. And if you remember when Lenny first pulls Melissa before they're in the giant auditorium, they're sort of in the, I can't even think of the
like
foyer.
The vestibule. Yeah.
I can't. Oh God, I'm so bad with this. But anyway, the
words.
He's like words. He goes, there's something I need to tell you. That's where Video Village was when we were shooting the majority of those scenes. That was where Video Village was. And I would hear, I was like, well, that was weird. And then our script supervisor, she comes, she goes, they are laughing every time you deliver that line. And I was like, really? Greg is dying in there. And so I was like, okay, oh good, because that's how I want him to be. I really wanted Jerry to be like that. Just this guy that's like, you know, it's like we can have fun right now. You know, we're allowed to have fun, and we're in the best place on earth as far as this, you know, as far as the ZA is concerned. And and Jerry knows it. You know, there's gardens, there's fruit, there are people singing. You know, and he knows exactly where he is, and he realizes it's the best place.
Well, it was such a crazy experience being introduced to your character and to Ezekiel, you know, after that premiere, right? Like the premiere is one of the lowest points ever on that show. And it's a show with a lot of low points. You know? And then all of a sudden there's you, like hilariously tongue-in-cheek on stage, kind of almost winking at the audience like, hey, this is ridiculous, right? You know,
well, it's totally necessary. They needed that moment to breathe.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
It was very much, because as a fan, I was like, you know what? I can't half-ass this. This wasn't like the same when I was talking about Yo-Yo. This is a character where it's like, I have to go balls to the wall with this guy for these things to work. And I'm glad people think that it did, because that delivery, the original deliveries I had for some of them and the original approach just wouldn't have been the same. And Scott and Greg were so fast I feel like the three of us and I feel like so many people like had a hand in this, but like, they realized where the jokes were going. And so they and where the character was going, that we all kind of like, okay, this is how it's going to be. All right. I think we found it. You know, now we can really get into this guy.
So now a question on that. Did you know in advance that you were going to be in multiple shows, or was it a reaction to the fans that they're like, oh, we're going to write him into more stuff? Did you know how far in advance did you know how long you'd be a part of the kingdom?
I knew I would, they told me ahead of time how many episodes I'd be in, but they never mentioned what the outcome will be.
Okay.
So, you know, no one knows, we don't know, but, I can't get too much more into that, but yeah,
of course.
But they let me know, how much I would get to play. But then the rest is left in suspense. that goes there. Yeah, just getting to play. And I realized it was like, I'm playing a guy with like one-liners. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's like, because I hate listening to myself talk. So this is just more like I'm like, okay, cool. So just give me a few words and, I'll have them ready. I'll have them prepared for you.
What was it like? What was it like when you found yourself on set and suddenly, I mean, as a fan of the show, now on the show, what was that moment like when Morgan and Carol walked into the room? Like, were you able to control your shit, or did you lose it? Because I don't know that I'd be able to contain it.
It wasn't my best first take, but I was like, do not mess this up. These are like some of the finest actors you're going to get to work with. And if you mess them up, then you ruined everything. And now the production's going to, so I put a lot of pressure on myself to to keep it together. But I knew, like I said, we had like the savior scenes, with the meetings and stuff with the pigs. So, I got to meet Lenny through there. So it was just, he didn't have to see me quite do dialogue yet. So I was like, okay, all right, this is Lenny James. He knows, he's Lenny James. Just keep it together. It's like, he knows, that he knows, It's, but Lenny is hands down the coolest man you're going to meet. And that was almost our joke. Like, everyone's cool, but that man is just cool. He's just so chill and so cool. There's no other word for him. Oh, amazingly talented, but cool, I think, supersedes anything else. And Melissa, she and I have history from, she used to do casting, and I read for her so many times, and she was friendly back when she was the casting director. And when I saw her, I boomed on the show for second unit stuff, so not a lot, but maybe like a total of a few weeks. And season 3, I see her there, and she goes, Cooper, like, come listen. So we just, my mixer was like, what? And so we hugged, and then we just talked, and so every time I would come there, I would always see her, and then it was just always like a little mini reunion. And nice. When we have scenes together, like when we did the cobbler, or even when on the first episode, with the deuces and all that, she was like, I'm just so happy you're here. I'm just so happy you're here. And it was just, it was great. And I love talking with her, and she's just such a warm person, that, I can't speak more highly of how warm she is.
You're not the only person who said that. Every person that I've ever spoken with who's known her, either as a casting director or as a fellow actor, just says she's so open and proud of everybody, just like proud mama.
Yeah, she's just that, and it's what made it so cool again to work with them with Lenny and Melissa is that it's sort of, as far as The Walking Dead, and now I love Kari. Kari is like, I love Kari. I love everybody on this show. It's so hard. I feel like it loses meaning when I say everyone's cool and I love everybody and everyone's awesome. I feel like it loses meaning when it shouldn't. But Melissa and Lenny, they sort of, for us, they or I feel like, I don't want to speak for everybody, but for me, they definitely set the tone of how it is on Walking Dead, and how we behave as actors, and how it's a little different. We're allowed to get to, on other shows, I feel like there's like a coldness between some crew and some actors, and but on this show, Andy Lincoln himself goes up and talks to everybody, knows everybody. When he introduced himself to me in the throne room when we first meet Carol, he's like, "Hey man, Andy, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm good, Cooper." Man, that is awesome. That is so funny, man. And then I was like, let's have a whole conversation. Yeah, I thought it was just gonna be a hey, like a hi and bye. And he just stays and talks, and he just like, he's just this cool guy, this cool lead, and apparently that's how it trickled down, because he's number one on that call sheet, and his example has spread throughout the entire cast, of being prepared, of being fully into it, and it spread, and I truly believe that the reason there's such a great chemistry is from his lead, and they're all these leaders themselves, and Lenny and Melissa are just, these great people. Out again, I ramble. So
that's great.
That's absolutely something I've said on this podcast a few times before. Like, as a director, when I'm casting a lead actor in a film that I'm doing, I'm looking for somebody who's not just able to perform, but somebody who I think is going to be that leader, that person who sets the tone for everybody else on set, for cast and crew both. You want that lead actor to be that person, to be that point person that makes everything feel like it's going to work.
And he just does it. He's just strong, and he's funny. It's not, he doesn't like just go back to, it's not like he's staying. I mean, he stays in character, but it's not like he's not this unapproachable person, but yeah, he's, as far as a number one goes on a call sheet, he's the person that I will forever try to emulate and be like, no matter the number, but like
that's really cool.
But that is how you want to be on set. And
does he stay in the southern drawl accent between takes, or does he slip?
He does. He does.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm sure it'd be difficult to go back and forth.
Yeah, it's hard, Lenny said that this was his first year of sticking with the accent as well, and that it does make it easier. But it's funny though, just when you have Rick just talk with you just about longbows or something, and just like keep it. You're like, I'm talking about like just because recently in the past few years it's like Rick doesn't have a lot of happy moments, but you gotta think the guy eats breakfast, the guy chills out with people for little moments. He has like, I'm sure he talks about fishing, and then you just have like these moments with Andy, and you're like, oh man, all right, that's what it's got to be like. But yeah, it's just I just don't want people to think I'm full of shit when I say I am so grateful to be part of this cast for so many reasons.
Oh, I don't think anybody would. I don't think anybody would question that.
But if they do, you'll let me know their address and names, right?
Well, absolutely.
Absolutely.
No. Yeah. No, but again, it's just what you want to aspire to be. And I've been as a boom op, I've been on productions where it's like, we're waiting on our number one. It's like, oh, he's a little late. Oh, he didn't have his lines down because, he was, drinking all night, and now he's coming in. And, it's one of those things where, man, this guy is not that. He is.
Oh, that happens.
Oh, did we lose him?
Yeah, we lost him.
Oh.
I'll call him back. Skype often drops right about the hour mark.
Hey, sorry
we
about
lost you. So you've mentioned multiple times over that you are a huge fan of this show. What about the comics? Did you read the comics beforehand, and was that part of your getting ready for this character? What was your process of approaching this character?
No, I didn't read I've looked at them. I've seen little bits, but I didn't want to have anything spoiled. And I didn't want. Okay, I'll answer your question. Since Jerry's not part of the comics, that's what I really enjoyed, because I got to sort of have a hand in creating such a cool character. Mm-hmm. I've watched the series. I mean, I've watched season 1 on its own like 9 times easily. Every time, so I'm like, oh, I haven't watched that. Is it good? I just don't like zombies. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Hey, you're gonna watch season 1 with me. We're gonna watch it all at once. It's 6 episodes. We're about to do this, and then they do.
Yeah, the thing I tell everybody is it's not really about the zombies.
Yeah, I know. It's the biggest thing. It's like, well, I'm not really a zombie. Oh, I mean, I know it's not about the zombies, it's about the people. But no, it's about the people. Exactly. Yeah, it's about the people. You're just saying it though. Like, watch it. Like, try not to love this. I'll take the apology and money in forms of 20s. Because of what I'd watched the show so many times, it was very much, I cannot be a character that has been here before. I don't want people to just be bored by a repetition. I think there's so many characters. That's why they're so good. It's but it's so hard also because all these people have to be different. You can't, we have such a cast, so everyone has their own style. And I think, what can this guy be? I don't want him to be a tough guy that, has seen shit. Like, everyone's seen shit. I want this guy to just have, he's seen shit and he's dealt with it because he still sees the hope. He still sees that there are people alive and there's still people that are happy.
He's going to choose to smile his way through the apocalypse.
Yeah. Sometimes if you're having a bad day, and I have tried this, even if I'm having a bad day, smile. It really does help.
You can't make me smile. You can't make me. You can't do. I'm not listening to you.
Corners. He's grinning at the corners.
Yep.
I can see it.
You got him. Cooper, I think that's just part of you though. Like, I think I wrote this the first night I saw you on there, that when you said deuces, I'm like, I just see Cooper whenever that happens, because I've never known you not to be a joyous person. Anytime I've ever been around you, you're smiling.
That's true. I do smile a lot. It does make it a lot easier, but I think I smile so much because I'm so happy. I think I'm happy because I smile so much. I was like, but like what Scott was saying, he's like, there's so much that when you smile, like, it just seems like everything's okay. And when you're not smiling, something's wrong. Like it just has that, I mean, that is part of me, and when you read for parts, there's a lot of times where, it's like, okay, here's Cooper. He's, aged 42, has 3 kids. I'm like, I do not look like I have 3 kids, who are in high school. I'm not going to get this part. I'm not going to read for that. And so knowing what you are and knowing what you can do is a big part, I think, for successfully doing a role, just knowing where you can reach. And I enjoy acting. I love acting, but I know that I don't have the range as strong a range as so many other people. So what I try to do is bring out what I know I can bring, and what I can convey. But that doesn't mean I'm not trying on other stuff, but it's still something, being self-aware is something I think that's very important when it comes to acting. That's understanding your tool set. Yeah.
It's understanding the physicality. It's understanding the psychology. It's understanding what you are capable of delivering. And it's not to say that what you're capable of today is all you'll ever be capable of, but you have to know where you're at now. And I think that's great.
Exactly.
That self-awareness is wonderful in an actor.
It's so important because, when I was 20 and, and I was like, all right, well, maybe I could play older and I can be this character. It's like, no, you can't. You know what? Wait for it. It was like, just sometimes the time just isn't right yet. And there's a lot of people who try to force themselves, or they get frustrated with themselves because they think it's something that they can fix and change, when yes, sometimes it is. And it can be quite often that it's something you can change, but there's a lot of times where there's just something where I'm not going to believe you as that character until you just grow into it.
Yeah.
Until you can become and it's,
well, look at Andrew Lincoln. Like, when he was in Love Actually, I never would have imagined that down the road he'd become Rick Grimes.
No. But and I'm still baffled at people who don't realize that it's the same guy. I'm like, who doesn't watch Love Actually? That is like the Christmas movie. Like,
just a great movie.
I think it's widely accepted now that everyone loves Love Actually.
I think that's true.
It used to be like, I like this movie. It's 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 called Love Actually. It's like, oh yeah, I love that movie. Like everyone should now know everyone loves that movie.
It's one of the few romantic comedies that guys will admit to liking.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of dudes in it. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's great.
So Cooper,
like such a great cast.
In regards to life experiences, and
I might watch that tonight just talking about it, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't need to. It doesn't need to be Christmas to watch Love Actually.
That's true.
That's true. Every day is Christmas when you watch Love Actually.
All these new life experiences, and I'm sure one that's, you know, really intense. How have you been taking in all of the audience reaction to you? Have you been just bombarded with people? Can you still go to the supermarket or what is that for you?
I will. All right. So I'll get recognized, and I'll know people will recognize me.
You get the look.
But I get the look. It's, you know, okay, yeah, you're okay. You've heard of it or you've seen it. You've experienced it. The look is that they know it's you, but why would you be at McDonald's at 4 a.m. getting chicken nuggets? What are you doing at Ralph's? Why are you here for a gallon of milk? Like, that couldn't be you, because you wouldn't get a gallon of milk. Maybe you would. Hey, are you Walking Dead? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah. I'll say it like very like almost sarcastically, but just more super energetic in their face. I'm like, I sure am. But really? Yeah. And then like I just like teasing them with that, and then I'm like, oh my god, and, you know. So I'll take photos, but it's I think a lot of how I'm big. I'm a big guy, but I somehow find a way of like hiding. But yeah, it hasn't. My phone has taken a beating because of the battery life. So I've had to like turn off notifications for things, and so I'll get, there'll be like a lot of messages and a lot of things from people I don't know. Even if I've tried to hide it as best I could, but if it's like a friend of a friend or something like that, it's I want to answer everybody, but then there's because I get a lot of questions, but then sometimes, you know, you just can't answer all of them, or you feel like you've answered it before. So I like being able to just state it all as a blanket thing. But as far as the fans go online, it's been such an amazing feeling just knowing that when people just say things like, it's like every time I see him, it makes me smile. It's like, I'm just happy it can make someone smile just from doing that. But you know, it's very humbling. I hate saying things like that, because every time I heard people say that, I'm like, I want to punch you in the face. You're not humble about it. I'm like, oh crap. It really is. And it's just like, shut up. It's like, what I would do. But it's, you know, there's a lot of people that I try to answer and I try to talk to, and I feel like such a jerk when I don't respond or I don't like look at these things. But as far as getting used to it, it hasn't been such a life-changing event as far as being out. Granted, I don't go to many places. I like to all my friends, like I said, all these stunt people, they come to the house. So, you know, we have a pool in the backyard and people will train, and I'll go to the gym and I'll sort of do those things. I don't go out.
Well, maybe they'll take you to Comic-Con this summer.
So yeah, I hope I get to go. I'll be doing a few conventions, actually. I'm doing one in Cincinnati, Ohio, for Horror Hound. I'm doing this Cherry Capital Comic-Con in Traverse, Michigan. I was told today it's pronounced Traverse. It might be Traverse, but and then I'm doing Traverse. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing some of the Walker Stalkers this summer. So
nice.
It's gonna be fun as far as that goes. So yeah, but I'll be prepared. I think I'm gonna like it. Melissa was talking to me about it, and she was like, "You're gonna love it. There's gonna be so many people there. It's gonna be great." I'm like, "All right, cool." So if she says it, I believe her. So that's all I need to know. Kari's talked to me about it before, and he loves doing them. And he's like, yeah, man, you know, you just get all these people come up to you, you know, like how you help them with, you know, this, you know, through this part of their life. And, you know, you can, you know, and just how much like just getting to meet them, like how, like just makes them feel better. I was like, cool. I'm really looking forward to getting to meet all these people. Yeah, so I'm excited. Again, I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm excited about it.
That's the idea. People want to hear from you. They're totally overhearing from us. So you ramble.
Okay, ramble. Damn it, ramble away. But it's no. I'll get the question of how does it feel to be this new fan favorite. And to me, it's such like again, I want to punch myself in the face when I hear something like that. I don't like being called not that I don't like it, but I feel so weird when it's like, you're a favorite. It's like, oh, no. It's like, really? Because that person's way cooler. But then again, it's like, I appreciate all of it. I mean, It's like, it feels great. You know, I love compliments. So, you know, when people walk by and they want to give me one, I'll gladly take it. Nice shirt, Cooper. Thank you.
What's that weird thing of trying to accept the compliment without sounding like a dick?
Yeah, it's like, how do you do that? I haven't learned that part yet.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's I'm grateful for all of it. But it's like, you know, I'm grateful for all of it. I'll leave it at that. I'm grateful for all of it. I love hearing from people, and I feel bad if I can't, you know, respond to messages or people like to comment on Twitter or Instagram, and I'm like, I'm trying, I'm typing, I'm trying, you know.
Yeah, you're also a human being who's got a job and things to do.
Yeah, I'm shooting this. I'm shooting this thing right now, and I'm like, so I'm like working on lines and then it's like, oh, this is happening. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I'm trying. And like, I actually have my right thumb is cut open from the use of how much I've used the phone, messaging. I don't even use the phone to really talk. This is the longest I've been on a phone in a while. I just use it for trying to message people and email as best I can. Don't know where I'm going with this.
Split your thumb open from typing so much.
Yeah, so I have psoriasis and eczema. They come up during weather changes or and stuff like that.
So pretty much anytime you're in Atlanta.
Yeah, pretty much whenever I'm in Atlanta, it just starts going nuts, and so my thumb is healing, but it's still kind of cut up, and so I'm trying to respond to people, and I'll see like there'll be like little blood streaks on my phone. So
okay, you all heard it here. You all heard it here, folks. This man's bleeding trying to respond to your messages. So just chill the fuck out and let him get to you when he can.
But I appreciate all of it, and I will continue. I'll let all my fingers bleed.
He bleeds for his fans. You know what?
I'd rather have a thumb bleeding and getting to play a character that I think is so cool than, you know, have perfect skin and, you know, running into auditions, you know, every few days. So it's just been awesome. Oh. And then, I moved out to LA, February of last year, right before the Super Bowl happened, which is funny because my buddy and I, he came with me. And it was awesome because his job, let him work remote. So, we always do a Super Bowl party. So, we were moving into the house and, we called whoever we did know and told them to bring friends. And so a bunch of people came. And I had the burgers ready. And once the burgers I had them prepped. And then after all that, that's when the grill showed up. So so that's how last minute our Super Bowl party was. So I've been out here for a year now, a little over a year. And then I had to go back and forth for Halt and Catch Fire. Then, I was there for Walking Dead, and now I'm back for this new movie that we're shooting called Den of Thieves. I go back next week to.
So Den of Thieves is shooting in Atlanta as well?
Yes. So I get to. So everything's been in Atlanta, but everything I've had to read. I've had to read here. I've had to read in LA and meet everyone in LA. So everyone's like, "Oh, how does it feel knowing you're going back to Atlanta?" It's like, well, I still had to be LA to sort of read for this stuff. So
all the business side, all the connections start in LA, and then everything shoots wherever it shoots. But you gotta respect LA as being the kind of starting point of everything.
Right. But what I do love about LA though is that since I haven't gotten to work here yet, I still treat this as like I'm on vacation. So whenever I'm in LA, it's like vacation mode. It's work out, train. Maybe you shouldn't eat that. Okay, well, if you work out harder tomorrow, so I'm on this constant like I work out super hard, I train really hard, and then I'll finish it off with like pizza or chicken or like some type of like fried chicken or something. Like I don't care as much about getting as in shape as I was, I guess, as I got older. I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of happy with this. And it's like, if I had to, if I had to do it, I can. I've done those diets for months, and just was in super shape, and I prefer to just do it if it's required, not when I don't have to.
Do you have a favorite eatery in LA?
In LA, I don't know LA eateries well enough to have my favorite go-to. We've been going to this sushi place a bunch called Yagami. I live out in the Valley. I love the Valley.
Is that the one with the conveyor belts?
No, it's just like a little. It's a little walk-in shop. But I was there this afternoon. One of my friends from Atlanta, he's in town, and so we went there. But I'm trying to think. We like to. There's this little poke spot, but there hasn't been like a that's my restaurant yet. Atlanta, I have those. Here, I don't have that.
What's your spot in Atlanta?
Well,
don't say it, because then people are going to be there looking for him all the time. Don't set him up like that.
All right, you can tell me
no, and then he won't be able to go there anymore. Because then he'll go and he'll get the look.
But then they'll get a bunch of...
I'll go if they pay.
There you go.
I'll go if they pay.
There you go.
How's that sound?
That restaurant will get a bunch of business, and they'll be like, Cooper, yours is on the house because you brought 100 people in.
Oh, like sweet. But there's one for the Indian restaurant I've been going to since I was 14. I've gotten the same dish there every time. I've tried all the dishes, but I only order the one dish, which is chicken makhni. I love Indian food. I love Stony foods, but I love Indian food. And I've been to so many different restaurants, and their chicken makhni is the best. And it's called Himalayas on Peachtree Industrial. For those who
I think I know where that is.
Give it a shot.
It's a good restaurant.
Say Cooper says hi, and he wants samosas, veggie samosas. All right.
Cooper, thank you so much.
That's my plug that I didn't see coming in.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us tonight.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys.
As a fan of the show, like, I'm giddy that like we've had you on as a guest. Like, I couldn't believe it when you were like, "Yeah, I'll do the show."
Oh yeah, well, I'd like to when maybe when it's all done, season's over, I can come and visit you guys.
That would be awesome.
I'd love to chat and meet and call. Eat some Indian food, maybe.
You guys
can show me a spot in out west that's good enough to call my spot.
Yeah, there's definitely some good Indian restaurants. We'd love to have you on the talk show. That would be great to sit down in person. And we've talked for like an hour, and I'm sure you have more stories to tell. I have no doubt about that. So
I thought this was the warm up.
This is the warm up. We'll get you on the TV show when you come down to visit.
I would love to.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. And, anytime. And when you come down, we'll take you around. Like, I grew up here in San Diego. So, like, I'm sure the way you could maybe show me around Atlanta, I could show you around San Diego. Be happy to.
Oh, that sounds great. I heard there's this amazing burrito place.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere.
Okay. All right. So, okay, great. All right. So I'll bring
Here's a question for you, Cooper.
Depends. Yeah.
You killed David. In your time living in California, have you had a fish taco yet?
I have, but it was cold. It was brought to me. Ooh. It wasn't. I wasn't there.
Someone delivered it.
And it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Oh no! It was someone's leftovers. Like, oh hey, you want a fish taco? I don't want any.
Oh, that's not the good way to experience a fish taco. When you come down, there's this place called Oscar's Fish Tacos. They are amazing.
Oscar's Fish Tacos.
They are amazing. You come down, we'll get some fish tacos. It's right on the beach.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Hell yeah.
And it's so tasty. So.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Awesome.
I'm totally down.
And we look forward to seeing you on The Walking Dead again real soon.
Yes.
Like hopefully this Sunday.
I hope that everyone that's been watching Walking Dead and because I get it, like first half, it's like, oh, we're all broken apart. This is all, oh, we're meeting new characters. But it's going to feel so good, to just keep watching. So I hope,
the illusion is heard, sir.
Excellent. Good.
All right. Well, you take care, Coop.
All right, take care. Thanks.
Have a good night.
I want to throw that in. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye, Cooper.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Cooper is a lovely guy. And I mean, as you guys can tell, he's genuinely so excited about getting to do this. And I love having guests like that because it makes me feel so good about what we're doing and, putting good content out there. It makes people smile, and that's the best.
I like that he just started showing up on sets and working on sets and, kind of doing whatever opportunities came his way, not just as an actor, but as a crew member first. I think that is incredibly cool. And one of the best ways I've said for a long time, one of the best ways for anybody to learn the business is to work in the business and do multiple different disciplines and learn it. And if you're a sound guy and you're a camera guy and you're able to absorb all the stuff that's going on around you, it'll just make you a better performer when you end up getting on the other side of the lens anyway, because you understand the process.
And it makes you appreciate it, because a lot of it's a hurry up and wait. And if you don't understand all the work that these other people are doing, you're going to get annoyed and you're going to be like, oh, is it my turn to actually do something yet? It's like, well, no, they're doing a lot of work over there. So just chill, be zen about it.
Yeah. So thanks for reaching out to Cooper and making that happen.
You're completely welcome. I'm glad to reconnect with him. He makes me happy. It was great getting to talk with him again. And I do hope he gets to come down and join us for some of those fish tacos. I'm always plugging Oscars. Guys, it's amazing. I think they might put crack in it.
All right. Till next time, thanks for listening to the IntelleXual Podcast. I'm Dave Dawson.
I'm Whitney Wegman.
And we'll talk again soon.
Right, bye.
Hello there, citizens. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the floaty that will not flush no matter how many times you try in the toilet bowl of crime. I am Darkwing Duck, telling you please, talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm. Whatever the heck that means. After all, you are watching IntelleXual Podcast with your ears.